The world outside the car windows was a blur of neon and shadow, distorted by the unsettling influence of alcohol coursing through our veins. I remember the unique, unsettling lurch of my stomach as Alex, my companion, took another dangerously sharp turn. My eyes stared the car's tires, observing as they barely gripped the slick, night-cooled asphalt of the deserted streets. The roar of the engine echoed through the hollow tunnels of the city, reverberating off the walls, creating a symphony of sound that was as thrilling as it was terrifying. My attempts to caution Alex, to plead with him to slow down, were lost in the adrenaline-fueled bravado of the moment. His laughter, boisterous and carefree, rang hollow over the growl of the engine. It was a moment of youthful recklessness, a fleeting snapshot of time that we believed we were invincible. Then, in a split second that somehow stretched into an eternity, our world shattered like a fragile glass mirror. A blinding flash of light illuminated the shadowy interior of the car. A deafening crunch of metal echoed within my ears. Reality as we knew it fractured into a million tiny pieces. I felt a jarring impact. A brutal force more potent than anything I had ever known, wrenching through me like a storm. The world tumbled and spun around us, a violent maelstrom of glass and steel. The car, our steel fortress, twisted and turned in a slow ballet of destruction. In that chaotic whirlwind, amidst shards of glass and the cruel bite of twisted metal, time seemed to stand still. The intense rush of the wind, the thunderous roar of the car, the piercing scream of alarms, they all felt like distant echoes, muted by the shock of the moment. I was acutely aware of every heartbeat, each ragged breath, as if my senses had heightened to capture every eerie detail of this cataclysm. The surreal, detached part of my mind noted the irony of our recklessness, the tragic predictability of our fate. Had danced with danger, and now we were paying the ultimate price. As the car, now a grotesque monument of broken promises and ruined dreams, came to a gut-wrenching stop, an eerie silence fell over the world. No laughter, no engine's roar, just the deafening silence of an ending. My body screamed in protest, the pain radiating from 1,000 each, a harsh reminder of our folly. But my mind was oddly calm, floating in a sea of tranquility, disengaged from the agony that my body was experiencing. I tried to call out to Alex, to extend a lifeline of hope in this desolate landscape. But my voice was a mere whisper, a faded echo lost in the vast void. In the chilling quietude, the world outside the car windows was no longer a blur of neon and shadow, but a harsh reality of consequences. The world outside was cold and indifferent, uncaring of our plight. The world outside kept spinning, oblivious to our little tragedy. The world outside the windows was a grim reminder of our recklessness. The world outside was a testament to our mistakes, to our youth, to our arrogance, to our invincibility that was as a summer's breeze. But in the end, the world outside was just the sobering reality that we had finally crashed into. Then something shifted. A transformation, subtle yet profoundly resonant, began to transpire in the world around me. The darkness, which until now had been my only companion in the disarray, deepened. It took on a new complexion, a hue of the purest, most profound obscurity. It became a thick, velvety blackness. It was a blackness so profound it was almost tangible, like a cloak that had been delicately draped around my being. This blackness was not void of sensation, however. Rather, it seemed to pulse with an unseen, unknown energy. It was as if there was a hidden life in the darkness, one that breathed and thrummed with an inexplicable force. And within this pulsing energy, I felt myself begin to slip away. It was a slow, gradual descent into a realm beyond my familiar senses. The sounds of the emergency, the urgent clamor that had previously filled my ears, began to fade. The wail of distant sirens, the chaotic symphony of crisis, all started to dissolve into nothingness. The echoes of reality gradually receded, like waves pulling away from a beach, leaving behind only silence and tranquility. In this silence, a profound tranquility enveloped me. It was a peace so profound it reverberated with my very soul. It was a stark contrast to the chaos and turmoil that had just ensued. It was like a quiet after a storm, a calm that held an eerie beauty in its serene embrace. From this tranquility emerged a suspended realm one that lay precariously between the throbbing vitality of life and the cold, encroaching grasp of death. My consciousness lingered in this limbo, adrift and untethered. It was bereft of the physical constraints of reality, free to wander in the expanses of my own mind. I was no longer a physical being. I was reduced to mere thoughts, feelings, memories, and perceptions. Adrift in this space, my consciousness began to slip into a dream unlike any I had ever experienced. It was a lucid dream, a dream where reality and fantasy merged, where the tangible became intangible, and the intangible, tangible. In this dream, I would confront the very essence of my existence. I would delve into the deepest recesses of my being, unearthing truths and understanding that had long been buried under the layers of my consciousness. The world I awakened to from this dream was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a realm of surreal beauty and eerie tranquility, where the typical laws of physics seemed twisted, warped, and morphed into something entirely unique. Where time flowed like a languid river, unhurried, yet inexorable. The air in this otherworldly realm shimmered with a soft ethereal light. It was a light that did not simply illuminate objects, but rather, it seemed to infuse them life. It cast everything in a gentle, diffuse glow, bathing the world in an ethereal radiance. Here in this dreamscape, I was acutely aware of my own consciousness, lucid and clear, yet detached from the physical reality. This disembodied awareness, this uncanny lucidity, was a singular experience, one that opened the door to a new understanding of the world and of myself. Then something shifted. The darkness around me deepened, a thick, velvety blackness that seemed to pulse with unseen energy. I felt myself slipping away of the emergency, the wail of distant sirens, all fading into nothingness. A profound tranquility enveloped me, a stark contrast to the chaos that had just ensued. In this suspended realm, between life and the encroaching grasp of death, my consciousness lingered, adrift and untethered. It was in this in-between that I began to slip into a dream, a lucid dream unlike I had ever experienced. A dream where I would confront the very essence of my existence. The world I awakened to was unlike anything I had ever known. It was a realm of surreal beauty and eerie tranquility, where the laws of physics seemed twisted and time flowed like a languid river. The air shimmered with a soft, ethereal light, casting everything in a gentle, diffuse glow. Here in this dreamscape, I was acutely aware of my own consciousness, lucid and clear, yet detached from the physical reality. As I wandered through this transcendent dreamscape, my eyes were met with a spectacle of surreal beauty. Every footfall upon the ethereal terrain seemed to initiate a pulse of energy that coursed through the landscape, altering the very fabric of the environment around me with each rhythmic beat. Glass-like trees with leaves of shimmering silver appeared, their trunks bending and twisting in ways that defied the natural laws of our world. Rivers, defying gravity, flowed upward in a captivating dance towards the cobalt blue sky, their liquid tendrils reaching for the glowing orbs that hung in the firmament above. Stars, unlike any I'd seen before, hummed with a deep celestial melody, a symphony of the cosmos that echoed in the silence of this realm. The very air seemed alive with luminescent particles, swirling in a harmonious synchronization, creating a brilliantly glowing kaleidoscope of colors that painted the sky. This dreamscape was a magnificent, breathtaking tapestry of impossible wonders, an embodiment of imagination and fantasy intertwined, yet even amid this surrealistic beauty, a sense of deep solemnity prevailed, hanging over this dreamscape like a veil. This was not a place of frivolous joy, but one of profound reflection. There was an undercurrent of melancholy, a subtle reminder of the reality that lay beyond this world of dreams. Suddenly I felt an unseen force, a presence that was both ancient and immeasurably immense. It was as if the entire universe had converged before me, and in the blink of an instinct it materialized, not in any defined or recognizable shape, but as an ever-shifting constellation of iridescent light intermingled with shadow. It was an embodiment of incomprehensible power, a manifestation of the cosmos itself. A voice, neither distinctly male nor female, resonated in the deepest recesses of my mind. It was a deep echo questioned, filling my thoughts with profound contemplation. Dumbfounded, I was unable to formulate a response. A barrage of questions flooded my consciousness. Was this God, the divine creator of life and death? Or was this some other cosmic entity, an ancient being born of stardust and cosmic energy? This enigmatic figure seemed to perceive my confusion and the curiosity that brimmed within me, and responded. "You have a choice," it spoke again, its tone neither kind nor cruel, merely impartial. To fight for your existence, to cling to the thread of life, or to let go and embrace the unknown, the infinite void of oblivion. This proclamation hung in the silence, echoing in my mind. Suddenly, the dream shifted, transforming into a series of trials. Each was more challenging, more daunting than the last. I found myself climbing steep cliffs, navigating through dark, winding labyrinths, and confronting shadowy figures that whispered doubts and fears into my ears. Each trial was more than just a challenge. It was a mirror, reflecting fragments of my life. Each trial seemed a reflection of my life.